Hey guys, what's going on? We got Jake's Reviews coming at you with review for Transformers Animated Deluxe Class Soundwave. I apologize for my voice. I have kind of a cold, so I may be sniffing a little bit and coughing a couple times during the review, but I hope that it won't be too detrimental. So this is Soundwave here from the animated series. Very, very show accurate. Although I don't really know if he ever actually transforms into this thing. I'm sure he does. I just, my memory's escaping me, but he transforms into a really cool kind of Scion car. You guys know what a Scion is. It's very sort of boxy, sort of in between a car and a truck sort of thing. It looks really cool. It's very show accurate, and I like it a lot. It rolls really well. And there's no real problems with it. It takes a lot of fidgeting to get into when you're transforming from robot mode, and that's very frustrating. But that's kind of a transformation problem, but I guess it is an issue with the figure. So that's one knock, is that I was transforming in a robot mode, transforming him back, and it took me 3 times the time because it took me forever to get him, back into the hole. You really just have to squeeze every part and just squeeze and just hope that it all fits together. Let's talk about Laserbeak for a second. It's his guitar, and it's just a little thing that comes with it, and I like it a lot, and it clips to the top here as a guitar or a bird. A lot of people do the guitar mode. I do the bird because, and yep, see, actually, I just did that and it just popped out. A bunch of the joints just popped out, so that's frustrating. But yeah, I clip them to the top because it looks kind of cool. They get on a flying car. I think that's just kind of a cool aesthetic of Laserbeak. He's not in the show yet, but I like that. So we're going to transform into his little guitar mode. And you just flip his wings down, and they pop off really easily, so be careful. And then you just pull the neck out, and that doesn't stay up, which I think is annoying. But you pull the neck of the guitar out. Actually, yeah, if you pull it out all the way, it'll stay up pretty well. That was my fault. Never mind. Disregard that last comment. So we'll set the guitar aside for later. Get into the transformation. Separate the hood and sort of windshield area of the car from the rest of it, and it'll pop apart like that. Sometimes whether you want it to or not. Pull the back of the car apart, and it's sort of the doors become his arms, and you, with a little bit of pulling, you get those into place. Yeah, he's kind of a frustrating figure to transform. So there you get kind of his arms, and then these are detached. So what you do with these is rotate them down, kind of like that. And then you take this little panel here, get that right there, this little panel right there. Let's see if I can back up just a little bit. Oh man, this camera. And you pull the panel and flip it around. Let's see if I get this one. Pull the panel up and flip it around. And then you rotate them around like here. Let's see if I can get it in here. Rotate that just like that. And you flip it around like that. And this camera angle is not right. So let me just get a little higher. Okay. And then you rotate his waist around, his whole waist, and flip his little foot panels up. And he stands. It's very short. But anyway, you then flip his little chest piece here up, and then you have to kind of slide it up. You got to get underneath it and clip it up even higher. And that's a little weird and sometimes hard to do. But rotate his wheels in to get looks like speakers. I think. God, he is slippery too. Hands pop out from right here. There's a little tab that you just flick and it opens. You just flick the tab and open it. And then last thing you do is you take a little here and you flick out his little Soundwave head. And there you have Soundwave in robot mode. And he's really short. Here's a Swindle next to him. And Swindle is short. And I believe Swindle is about the same height. So they're kind of tiny and not really. They're sort of in scale. I think that Soundwave is in scale with Bulkhead, which is interesting. But they are kind of the same height at least. But he's still pretty tiny. Could have been a Voyager, probably could have been really cool, but I'm not going to complain about Hasbro's marketing scheme. Articulation-wise, his head will move side to side. We'll go 360. Rotate shoulders all the way. Elbows are double jointed, but either way, there's not a lot of articulation unless you move it to the side slightly, and the elbows are on a ball joint, so they rotate all the way around. His legs will go out. Let's do this one. Out all the way to there. And then all the way back as well. You can see that right there. They will bend the knee slightly and rotate around. So, and they will go out to about, they'll go out the whole way if you muscle them. So, not, decent articulation, but with the weight, just how blocky he is, it doesn't work out very well. And he doesn't really have a lot of good pose options, except for one, which comes with his guitar. And basically, there's a little tab here, right, where is it? Right there. And that tabs into this little screw hole on his arm, right there. And I don't know if that was actually, I mean, it's got to be purposeful with the way it fits, but I think it just doesn't, it's not in the instructions or anything. So you tab it in right there and fold his arm over and then pick this arm up and kind of just wrap his hand around it. And you got Soundwave rocking out on the guitar. And that's really the coolest pose you can do. That's about it, to be perfectly honest. It's unfortunate, really, because Soundwave is such a cool character. And he's such a favorite of all of the G1 fans. And, I'm sure he's a fan of he's favored a lot of the animated fans, but he just doesn't have a lot of articulation in his toy. If you flip Laserbeak back to Laserbeak mode, which is a problem, clearly, for me. Yeah, his wings pop out so easily. Turn him into a bird. He will clip onto Soundwave's arm. And there we go. And he'll be kind of like sitting on his arm, which I think is kind of cool. But those are really the two big poses you can get out of him. Can't do much else with him, but he's kind of statuesque, and just the way that you can kind of put him somewhere in one pose, and he looks cool. So I'm going to give his robot mode a 6.5 out of 10. Vehicle mode an 8 out of 10. I feel like they could have done a lot more with this figure, but he's not bad by any means. He's really cool. He's really fun to pose in his little guitar thing, but he's a pain in the ass to transform back and forth. There's just weird parts, weird blocky things that don't work out well. But he is still Soundwave. He's still an animated figure, so he's not bad. I don't think the animated guys really know how to make bad figures. But anyway, I'd give Soundwave kind of in general just a 7 out of 10. Solid, but not one of the better ones in the line. There's a lot more that you could get out of this guy. Go for the other wave, Shockwave. If you find Shockwave, pick him up. But pick up Soundwave. For the sake of a collection, if you love the character, then obviously pick him up. The guitar is cool. And just basically he's a cool looking figure with not a lot of articulation, but some interesting gimmicks. So that's Soundwave for you. Do a little 360 here. And end it. This has been Jake's Reviews, coming out with review for Transformers Animated Deluxe Class Soundwave. Thanks for watching, guys.